Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kinda hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending now. Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternating. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Rob Jarsinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer, Carrie Jarsinski. And joining us via Zoom, our very own critic in residence, Tim Brayton. Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.
Is it?
Yeah, it's been a month. We checked in. We looked back. Our last episode, I think it was Top 5 Con Men, released December 11th-ish.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least a whole year ago. Doesn't
Yes.
count. That's the past. It's behind us.
Well, we took a little bit of extra time to get this episode together because we didn't want to just come at you with what we thought were going to be the top 5 movies. We wanted to actually watch as many things as we could before we regrouped, and so we could bring you our top 5 movies of 2021. I don't. How did you end up doing, Tim? Did you end up? Do you have any regrets that were you able to make it through the ones you wanted to?
The biggest regret by far is that I have not yet been able to see Pedro Almodovar's Parallel Mothers.
Oh, that's your biggest regret.
Penelope Cruz.
Okay, interesting.
Same. I'm going to double click on that one.
I don't know if that's accurate, Care.
I just feel like it sounds good. It sounds like a nice one.
We managed to get through our most anticipated. It's a total of 15 movies. Maybe we might have had some crossover. No, I don't.
There were 14 films in our
14,
our most anticipated.
14 films that we all picked that we were a little slow to get to. Mostly Carrie's films because they were interesting. They were
interesting. That's like,
interesting
you know what?
choices.
That's probably like the nicest thing you could say about these movies I chose.
Yeah, but there were.
We'll talk about some of the things you picked. You guys both liked a movie that I would have breezily I would have bet $100 on you both hating, and I'm flabbergasted that you both seem to like it, but we'll get there.
Yeah, there were some surprises. Tim's going to cover our kind of wager that we do every year of predicting what our most anticipated are and then seeing how well we stick to liking the things that we do and who won overall by having the most liked movies off their anticipated list. So we'll get to that first. And then later on in the episode, we're going to be talking about our actual top 5, which, some might make an appearance from our anticipated onto that.
I don't know if that is or isn't true.
Yeah. And then, Carrie, you wanted to do a little something different with just favorite movie we watched in 2021.
The number one movie you saw. It could be a 1950s movie, 30s, 40s even, maybe.
I just quickly checked my letterbox. I have 2 that make the cut.
I've got one.
Okay. So where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, we also have lives that our listeners love to hear about. Because I've had a fun little crisis in my life, and I thought I'd share it with you.
Oh, I haven't
and
heard
I know
about that.
You're having a fun little crisis in your own life based on what I've been hearing.
Yeah, you go first, and
I'd
then
love
we'll
to hear about
follow
crises.
up with our crises.
Yeah.
So today in Madison, Wisconsin, it was warm. The temperature had a massive upswing from the past few days. Reached 23 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's it. It got steamy here. It was 28 over here on the west
then
side.
maybe it was 28 here, and I just missed that part.
Yeah.
But it's been 10, 12 yesterday. I don't even think we hit double digits degrees in Fahrenheit. So I'm glad that today was the day that my furnace broke. And that I woke up to an apartment that had not had heat for about 10 hours at that point.
How did you not notice this sooner?
Because it always starts to cool off at night, so you can
it's like
sleep.
it's a cozy
so it's just
sleep.
like,
It gets down to 30?
It's down to 69 the way it's supposed to. Woke up to the temperature being 52 degrees in my house.
Oh no!
And you, sir, have a landlord. You are a tenant.
I do have a landlord.
I thought you said he
am
was
a
kind of a POS. Did he come to action?
It got handled. It turned out to be
Okay.
a blown fuse. So it got handled. My apartment, as of about 30 minutes ago, reached the legal lower bound that an apartment may be kept to in the state of Wisconsin. So, hooray.
Oh, good. I'm not sure if we can top that or not, Rob, with our life situation over the course of the
as you're listening to this, we're probably basking.
I will
Go
say,
ahead.
Rob, you look as smooth as an egg that was just pooped right out of an egg's butthole.
Thank you.
Or a bird's butthole.
Tim,
Very sexy.
If you were preparing for a marathon, you might want to do some stretching. You might want to run a little bit in advance. This is what I do. I prepare because we are traveling internationally to a exotic location, tropical place. So I've been preparing my body. I've been
manscaping like a beast.
Manscaping. And then, which Carrie was okay with. She didn't say anything about the manscaping. I've been working out the last 3 months, eating more healthy than I normally do, trying to minimize the drinking. And I've peaked. I've peaked. Tomorrow we are going in to go get a spray tan.
Don't even say this. Don't even say this.
Because you got that helps.
The universe.
That helps
Oh my
to let
gosh.
the muscles stand out a little bit. I also have
Absolutely.
purchased.
And Carrie, for you, the spray tan might hopefully clog up some of those pores that seem to just be just guttering sweat right now.
But Carrie's kept her mouth closed on all this. Even the fact that I purchased a lookalike James Bond Daniel Craig bathing suit. When he comes out of the ocean. I'm gonna replicate that, maybe for our patrons. Our Patreon.
I was going to say that
that's
clearly
Patreon
feels like a
content.
social media post.
So Carrie has stayed quiet on all of this, despite being likely appalled by it. But where apparently the line was drawn in the sand, where she flipped out on me was. She asked me where I'm saying, I have to, can't have the card. I have an appointment today.
I was like, I probably have to prepare for something. I have to go do something important. And Rob's like, no, sorry, I need the car.
You need the car because prior to getting a spray tan, they recommend that you scrub your body of the dry skin so that it adheres better and it seeps in more. So I had an appointment for a body scrub. This is something people do.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're the only person.
Was it a satisfying body scrub? If you know what I mean.
It was very good. She got a lot of the dead skin off.
Where did the dead skin come from?
I told you, Rob, Tim would think the same thing. I was like, this place is shady. He goes to this shady strip mall to get scrubbed by people. And I'm like, Rob, there is for sure a scenario.
Whomst among us.
There's
a daycare center right next door.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
what you have to go to
daycare.
the shady ones.
Is this place he goes to? There's no lights. There's no street lights. He goes in. I'm like, for sure, if you slip him an extra 10, exactly what you alluded to. Horrifying.
No, I mean, I feel like a $5 gets you a handy at that kind of place. 10, they probably put their pinky up your butthole.
Luckily,
Is that true?
I'm satisfied at home, so I have no
I don't
needs
even
for.
know what that means. I am appalled by all of this.
It means you better make sure you wash your hands every day, young lady.
I will. So
It's just funny. This is the thing that you snapped at. I've been building towards this. I
I've been
purchased
appalled the whole time.
ridiculous Hawaiian shirts that
You look ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know who you look like? I want to be honest. I'm having a little bit of an episode right now, but you know who you look like? You look like that guy who's 70 years old from Ocean's 11 with his shirt 7 buttons down. Whoever that guy was.
That's LA Gould.
You look-
I'll take it. I'll take a little Goulding.
This is what he looks like. Tim, I cannot even process all of this. So meanwhile, Rob's been honing his skin and honing things and parts of his body.
Well, it has paid off.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm over here. I literally
You have
haven't.
not been taking care of your skin.
No.
That's the story you're about to tell me.
I
isn't it?
have toenail polish right now on one toenail.
We're going to be taking photos separately is what's happening.
I am literally,
Yeah.
Tim, I literally am bringing a can of spray paint for my hair.
What did you call it? Root cover up or something?
I don't know. I ran out of
Root
time
spray?
to get my hair done.
It's not running out of time. Carrie doesn't plan for anything. I've had appointments booked months out because I knew that this date was coming.
Yeah, I thought number one, I thought it was going to get canceled. Number two, I don't even like the Maldives. I don't. Do I look like a person that should be in the Maldives? I'm like somebody who should go to northern Wisconsin or southern Wisconsin. I'm not.
We're going to get a lot of hate mail from northern and southern Wisconsin.
I was going to say.
Wait, what do you mean?
all
That was
those-
a compliment.
Those Fond du Lac people are going to just be hooting and hollering that they weren't included.
I'm saying I empathize. Rob's telling me about these amenities, all of these things. And I'm like, I find all of this, Tim, incredibly stressful. For me, the cheaper the wine where it doesn't give me a headache, the better. I am not this person that he wants me to be. So here's the other appalling thing, Tim. I haven't shaved. who even knows the last time I've even shaved. Rob's like, you have to shave your whole body with this spray tan, which I didn't even schedule. So Rob's now started taking over scheduling appointments for me. I have to go get spray tanned tomorrow.
That seems thoughtful of you, Rob. That's
Thank
a
you.
kind husbandly thing to do.
Appreciate
That
it.
is not a kind thing.
Take something off of her plate.
Things are going to get basically what it's going to do. I already know. So I was looking in the Kohl's mirror today when I was frantically shopping for like a Hawaiian shirt or something.
It's going to get trapped in the
It's
crevasses.
going to get trapped in my crevasses.
Yeah.
I'm going to have accent potholes all over myself. And I don't feel like that's great. I can't handle any of this. And we leave tomorrow. We literally leave tomorrow. And I am spray painting myself, hair, body. and then on top of all of
It's going to be a little death becomes her situation.
I'm going to look terrible. So the other thing on top of it all, like this is not the season to be buying Hawaiian clothes. So the one thing I'll give Rod credit on, whatever your name, Rob, whatever your name is, I'll give you credit. I should have started shopping for clothes sooner. I did not. And so I went today.
Sooner than the day that you are leaving, yes, you probably should have begun packing at least a day before that.
It's sparse. I'm going to say the summer wear is sparse at Kohl's. So I went from Kohl's to Old Navy and then finally ended up at Target. And I might be wearing pajamas or lingerie. I'm not sure what this dress is that I ended up with.
Tim, I just sent you a picture of one of the options Carrie sent me from Kohl's.
Is that the Little House on the Prairie one?
Now, this is what I described as casting for Midsommar Part 2.
Ooh, I'm very excited.
I thought maybe it would be airy and drapey, but because I have these broad shoulders, I end up just looking like a mammoth in fabric. I look like a bed sheet. Like and I almost bought that. If you hadn't said Midsommar 2, I probably would have walked out with the bed sheet. It had some sparkles.
Now, Midsummer 2 is charitable.
I think you were closer with Little House on the Prairie, to be honest.
I think the thing is the look of just misery on your face.
I hate
this
shopping.
Also needs to go on social. This needs to go on social next to the glamour shot of Rob's almost
Painted abs.
I'm recreating that photo.
I imagine will be perfectly shaped water droplets just all over your abdomen.
Are you having them spray paint abs on you?
No, I'm not going to wink. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll be like, just get it right in the roll, right in the accent of the roll. Yeah. This is absolutely going to be a train wreck. So
you were going to wear that to the Maldives?
I thought so. I was thinking maybe for Dubai.
You know where the Maldives are?
Yeah, but I thought maybe I could be one of those sort of like bohemian women.
They're not in Saskatchewan.
See, I had even no one with me. I have no fashion sense. I've been wearing the same sweatshirt for like 12 days right now. I can't even, and finally it's hitting me that we're leaving tomorrow, and I've
there's
got
nothing working against us from leaving. Not like a COVID surge of Omicron.
On top of that,
like that. Yeah.
Why did you even book
not.
this? Yeah, we're probably going to get trapped there and never be able to return. So
Yeah, boo-hoo. That would be terrible. Well, hopefully they have an option in the Maldives where we can watch some movies, because that's I think you want to. You think you want to, right? You wanted to bring the. I was like, no technology, and you're like, let's bring the computer just in case.
Yeah, I'm gonna need someone to hang out with while I'm there, and I'm assuming
we're gonna have to record an episode from the Maldives.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
lots to think about, Rob. Lots to think about.
Well, let's first think about how our anticipated movies did.
Yes,
Tim, you've been crunching the numbers. We had some
numbers
picks.
been crunched. I've got a few different ways of looking at them. Were you gonna? I don't want to interrupt you though. What were you gonna say before I?
No, I'm just laughing because this is the first year in all of the years. Usually I come.
You won last year, right?
Did I?
I think you did.
I usually win fall. Remember that Wind River year?
This was a fall.
This is fall.
Oh yeah. Yes, usually I win that. I usually come in really confident to these.
Well, no, what
things.
usually happens is you pick a movie that's like not coming out that year or something like that.
Yeah, I do that.
Tim did that by mistake. It was pushed.
Yes, this year Carrie's movie that did not end up coming out, we were able to lay hands on though, so we were able to count it.
Which one was that?
So happy that we were too.
Is that Hive?
Mothering Sunday.
Yeah, that was not exactly what I thought it would be.
It was exactly what I thought it would be.
I don't feel good about it this year is what I'm saying. We'll get into that.
I will give you some comfort. Your instincts are right. You should not have felt good about it.
Gosh, I feel better by the minute.
So Here is how things shook out. Every single metric you could come up with, I won on.
Wow.
I had the two films with the highest overall score. I had by far the highest score that I gave to myself. I had the highest average score. And just to see, well, I gave myself really good scores for my movies. So I thought, okay, I'm going to factor this out. If you take out my ratings for me, I would still be number one, even if I don't take out your own ratings for yourselves.
Yeah. Go through
I blew you guys away this time.
Go through some of the names, because I think what's my guess is you had a big crowd pleaser on there, which we should have anticipated is Spencer. I think Spencer
Spencer was our number one film, average of 4. Our number 2 film also on my list was The Power of the Dog with an average of 3.83.
Yeah.
Followed by a Rob pick, actually, No Time to Die at 3.5. And in number 4, which actually we have a tie at number 4, a 4-way tie at 3.3 of Carrie's picks for the Hive and West Side Story, Rob's picks for The Matrix Resurrection and Spider-Man No Way Home. And I have to say, you guys both liked Hive so much more than I liked Hive.
Oh, well, I expected that, because I think focusing on a woman who's trying to persevere in difficult times, I knew you wouldn't like that at all. So.
I know. I hate that. That's why both Spencer
I did enjoy your review. I think I remember saying something about like, this is the kind of movie where comes and goes and like nobody remembers it. I can see that happening.
Oh yeah, no, I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. I purposefully didn't read Tim's review because I knew it would impact or influence me, and I didn't want that. I wanted to just stay where I was, enjoying the story.
Well, that's good. But no, so it was actually, it would have been fairly close, except you guys both picked a couple of stinkers. Carrie picked Mothering Sunday, Rob picked Eternals, and both of you, and in fact, this was Carrie's number 1, picked Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was a real stinky stinker indeed.
It was such a bummer. Yeah.
I should have went with my alternates. I had like Dune as an alternate. I should have went with
Dune
those. I don't know why
better.
I didn't have
I
faith.
bet Dune would have single-handedly given you the win.
Yeah.
Actually, Rob.
God damn Eternals.
Yeah, Eternals was terrible. Ah. Well, that's, you know what? Yay for you, Tim. I'm not even going to say anything
I feel good.
snappy.
Congratulations, Tim.
I know my own tastes. I know cinema. I know so much more than the people I share a podcast with.
Well, Tim, how many movies did it take you? How many movies did you watch in order to kind of arrive at these upcoming top 5 movies?
So there's 2 questions here. There's the question, how many movies did I watch that were eligible for 2021? And the answer to that question is 165 as of this recording. Then there is the question, how many movies did I watch in 2021? Many of which were not eligible for that year's awards. And that number is 607.
Oh my gosh, that's just an insane number. COVID's done wonders for you, my friend.
That is not actually my record, sadly. I believe there's at least one year where I broke 2 a day.
Wow.
In my life.
Wow, that's crazy. What's interesting about that is you saw more 2021 movies than I saw movies in 2021, because I ended up around the 140 mark, which is, right in my kind of my average. I feel pretty good about that. I like to try to get to about one movie every other day or so. So I didn't quite get the mark there. But what about you, Care?
Yeah, about the 140 mark too.
Yeah, you have no idea.
No, I do. I think because there's been a few times I watched without you. You were there.
That never happens.
You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever
I know the number's smaller than 140.
Slightly, ever so slightly. I don't feel like I could shake you this year. This year you were just always there.
We always start January strong because we're cramming. And it just and then December is also a big cram session. So the 2 bookends of the year are oftentimes our biggest viewing months.
Yeah.
So
overall, though, this was a terrible year.
You think so?
Yeah.
A terrible year in movies?
Yeah.
I think for people who have our taste in movies, our unique tastes, different tastes, because you and I have different tastes, I think it was a bit of a down year. As I look at what I have picked out for my 5, like any other year, like these would not. But I think from an art house perspective, Tim, I'm curious, or just like critic perspective, I don't know if that's the case. I think there's a lot of movies that people are really happy with.
No, it was definitely a very admirable year for art house movies. I personally have a slightly soft year. I could not make it to a top 5 without getting to 4-star movies, which is never a feeling that makes me feel very good. But I have a lot of 4-star movies this year. So it's, I think, a solid year. I think it certainly was better than last year. Last year was like an all-time terrible year. It is not better than most of the other years in recent memory, though, I wouldn't say.
Now, how much of that do you think is COVID related? And just like, for me, it is. I can safely say, like, a lot of, I'm a popcorn movie person. Like, I'm looking forward to the next Mission Impossible, Top Gun Maverick, like, and those big movies keep getting pushed. So I'm impacted greatly by it. But there've been a lot of smaller movies that I've really enjoyed as well too, but nothing that's cracked like 4.5 got you in my top 5 this year. I have nothing that I feel confident saying a 5-star in.
Yeah, I had one 5-star movie all year and I didn't watch it until January. So
yeah, I only had one 5-star too and had to dip into the 4s. So I had like very few.
You had a 2021 film that was 5 stars?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm curious as hell.
I'm not going to sneak a peek at your Letterboxd.
You didn't have any?
I almost don't believe you.
You're looking.
No, I'm not looking. I'm looking
Okay.
at my own, but it's just.
I also was surprised. But again, I want to preface, as I was looking at this list, I was like, holy smokes. Tons of judgment is going to be coming. I'm just going off the facts, but
Well, there's only so
coming.
much judgment that you can ladle out given how soft the year has been. So I'm not going to judge you, Gary.
Oh, you will.
I look so well. Let's put it this way: if
guarantee
Hive is on your list, I will be judging you.
Okay. All righty.
Well,
But-
let's get to it. Let's start
Okay.
with let's see if we can get through 3 before we head to our break. Our number 5, 4, and 3.
Oh boy. I'm just going to cover my face so that I can't see Tim's. This one, I was just going off data. I was going off a lot of data.
You still have Hive at number 5, don't you?
No, I thought about it, but then I didn't, because you know what? Actually, for the exact reason that you just said, while I was watching Hive, I thought, what a compelling story. I'm interested in what this woman's doing. I thought it was shot really well, but then the minute it was over and I was going to log my letterbox, I was like, what movie did I just watch? I couldn't even remember. So,
And it's only 83 minutes long.
It's
so
not
it couldn't
long.
even linger for
Yeah.
83 minutes.
it's kind of slow. So, again, no judgment. This is a friendly zone. I'm going to come in with one of the works of one of the most world-renowned directors that's ever existed, Destin Daniel Cretton. And he's kind of a big deal.
What?
This made your top 5.
I don't know. Factually,
Did you like this that much?
I did like
I
it.
feel like you did not.
I did. I think I did, from what I remember, because I remember there were those rings and there were 10 of them. And I remember thinking Awkwafina was really funny. And that is why number 5, I have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
All right.
I wonder if I sorted weird on Letterboxd. This feels weird to me.
And what you have it at 4 stars?
I had it at 4 stars.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, 4 stars made my top 5, so
Yeah.
it's possible. And then I had to narrow
Same.
it down from 10 movies in the 4-star range. So it's
It's just embarrassing, though. I've got a Marvel movie on here.
that's not embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It's not
It's
going to
going
be
to get more
Not
embarrassing.
going to be your only Marvel movie. on
It's
there.
going to be
Yeah.
so embarrassing. And I'm like, wasn't there something better than this? But then when I looked at the movies that came after it, I was like, eh.
Here's the thing with Shang-Chi. You weren't bothered by the ending as
No.
much as I was
Yeah.
when it went into fantastical realm.
No, it wasn't.
And
I like
had
that
it
dragon.
not been for that, I think I was 3.5 on it. So yeah, if it hadn't gone there, I think
Well,
I would have been higher on it.
And I know, Tim, you loved the dad's performance.
He was good.
Oh, so good.
He was good.
And I loved him, but I also loved the son's performance, and I liked what Awkwafina was doing. I liked that dynamic more than you. So I think a little bit of that buddiness that was in there, I had fun with it. I really liked it.
Yeah. I mean,
Good.
it's like Tim said,
just move
it's a soft year.
Let's
Soft
just
year.
move on. Soft
I'm
year.
going to have some
And
embarrassing things.
I will say, certainly that was my favorite Marvel film of the year.
Okay. Well, that's good for you. That's great. I also think we should probably start a drinking game right now that is soft year. Anytime someone says soft year, you have to take a drink. And for the 7 times we've already said it, you have to catch up.
So just have a drink and then take a sip of your drink every time we say it going forward.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's my number 5. Tim, what's yours?
So my number 5, I'm pleased to say, was actually on my most anticipated list of the fall. So I'm already off to a good start in terms of having predicted myself well. And indeed, it was our collective number 1 film off of that list. It was Spencer.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't like Spencer. Did I like Spencer more than Shang-Chi? I don't know.
I think you probably would have had it at a 4, so it would have just been a debate for yourself.
Yeah.
Spencer was a 4-star movie for me. I considered it for my top 5 as well too. I just didn't want you to have too much to rub in.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Is that right, Mr. Scrum?
I'll count
Body
that
Scrum?
as you gave it to me as a number 5 anyway.
Oh, that's a good pick.
I had a blast watching this movie. It at the time it came out, I was in fairly desperate need to like have a movie that made me feel overwhelmed by just knock you off your socks formalism and a really killer performance and just crazy fucking music. It's Johnny Greenwood's score. He did 3 movies this year.
It's like a horror movie, man.
It is a horror movie. It's about like her just feeling of being constantly at fear for her life in the family of the royal family of England. And I thought this was such a crazy good movie, and it recharged my batteries so hard when I saw this. Just complete head over heels thriller acting movie style, gorgeously ugly sort of thing. I loved this. It just completely saved the year.
Mine. I think I want to change mine. I think I'm swapping. I
Too late.
Too late.
Too late.
What? If you liked this and I liked this and you hate biopics so bad, usually, I don't like Kristen Stewart. Normally, or is that her name? Kristen Stewart?
That's her name.
Yeah. I normally don't like her. I mean, I like her as a person, as a human, but like not as an actress. And I really loved her in this too. Like she transformed. Like she was Diana for sure in this for me. And yeah, I loved the behind the scenes feel of getting to know her kids and her family and the dynamics. And it's so suffocating.
Yeah,
You
the
could feel
camera was
yeah.
all up in her face, but everybody else was so distant. It's just really good filmmaking too.
Yeah.
It's just good filmmaking.
But you know what it didn't have, Carrie?
10
Big ol'
rings.
CGI dragon.
Or 10 rings. Oh, she probably did have 10 rings because she was very wealthy.
Probably more than.
How are you, Tim, on this compared to Jackie? Like, is it?
I like Jackie better.
Oh, I got to see Jackie then.
You gotta see
I'm
Jackie.
late. I'm late to the Jackie party.
But he didn't like the one with Renee Zellweger.
That's a different director.
Judy.
But yes.
Judy.
Yeah, Spencer and Jackie are films that just beg to be compared to each other.
Ah, gosh. Good pick. I'm mad.
Yeah. I think I have something on my list here that should make you mad because I think.
It's on mine?
Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Maybe it was your top anticipated for the summer.
It's my number 4.
Is it Free Guy?
No.
Okay. Well, then we're not on the same page. Because I'm talking about Free Guy. That was probably the best theater experience that I had.
Yeah.
I want to say, like, as far as laughing.
Where did we see that?
Well, it was during the 3-week period when you could go to the theater without having a mask on in the state of Wisconsin.
That's true. You know what? That probably gave it an extra half star, but probably to no surprise of anybody else, this is a popcorn movie, summer movie. Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, the dude from Stranger Things, who I can't ever remember his name, is also in here. And then, what takes it down a half a star, sadly, and it usually adds a half a star or more, is Taika Waititi's character was just a little much. He was in a different movie, but the idea of having a non-playable character and kind of like bringing together, not a passion of mine, but I do like the, computer. I like gaming. I enjoy a good game every now and then.
Sure.
So to see that brought into the theatrical experience was a lot of fun.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I don't think it was at all fair of you to just blow right on by I like gay men before I had a chance to really fashion it into a joke.
He said, I like gay men, and I missed it?
He said I like gay men. but he pronounced it in
Oh.
a really weird way.
I like gaming.
They're interchangeable for me, really. Yeah. I say I don't even hear it. It just blows right past me.
I get it. See, I'm always on the hunt for the
The nuggets.
double entendres that I can turn into a bit.
Okay, Tim, you hated
show.
you not
He hated
hated.
Free Guy?
It was like 2 stars for Tim.
I don't like it.
2 stars.
I didn't
Two
like
stars.
it
Is it
at all.
because of all of the humor and the
It's
jokes?
all of the attempts at humor, for sure.
And something that I enjoyed all of the pop culture.
Let's say that it was a 4.5
references.
star movie, but Taika Waititi cost 2.5 stars. For me.
Ooh, so we're
You're on the same
we're on the same
page.
wavelength
You're
there.
We're on the page. He's definitely the worst part of it.
Can I ask
definitely
how
agree with
much of I can't remember when Free Guy started production and everything, like with the Fox Disney merger, but I got to say a good like 20% of my laughs were related to like all of the cameo and kind of Easter eggs dropped in there that are Disney related.
I suspect those entered in reshoots because I think it was most of the way done when Fox was still Fox.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about
because there's a Chris Evans bit in there that's pretty funny.
See, I've already forgotten.
So good. This didn't make your top 5?
No. No, it didn't.
Interesting.
It was a 4-star movie for me, but I
Okay.
had to, again, choose
Had
between
to
the 4s.
that's tough.
Because,
It's tough.
again, as you recall, my number 5...
You know what this movie doesn't have? Dragons.
Yeah.
Dragons.
Or 10 Rings.
I don't actually know what you're talking about because my number 5 was this movie called Spencer. I don't know if I mentioned that already.
So I just had a good theater experience with you.
You
It was like
liked
I think we
this.
might have had popcorn.
we had
Like,
popcorn. We
ate
never get popcorn.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. We would have gotten popcorn a long time ago, but now I'm like, it's just so pricey.
Now we're saving up for my body scrubs. It's
Obviously.
Exactly.
How much was it to scrub your body?
it's $100.
You're joking. You are joking. With like an exfoliant. and
That's
all.
a lot.
Are you
I
being
gotta
serious?
say, that's a
Well,
lot.
first they scrub and then they take a warm towel and like wipe it off, and then they put like a moisturizer on top.
Tell me the real. So Tim, it's okay. It wasn't $100. Rob does this to me where he highballs me, and then when I freak out, he's like, "What if I said 75?" And then I'm like, I'm still freaking out. And he's like, "Well, what if I said 50?"
No, I should have started higher then.
Wait, was that the actual number? I would never do it for you, but if you told me you were going to pay $100 for it, I would think about
Did you actually get a handy? Because if not, I have some problems.
it. No, but
There
really,
was no. there
I
were
have
no-
problems
there were
too.
no hand- You'd feel better if the handy was included with the 100.
Yeah, it would feel like it was more worth it. But
right.
no.
It'll be worth it when we see the tan and we compare our tans together because I've prepared the proper way.
Oh my god.
Moving on to number
I
4.
am-
So your husband
appalled.
spent $100 of your dollars, and he's going to shame you in public in the Maldives. Are you excited?
Yeah, he's probably just going to point at the piles that I have of dye on myself. Anyway, I just can't even handle this. We're going to talk about this later. So, what are we talking about?
Your number 4.
Your number
movie
4
of the year.
Okay, my number 4 movie of the year. I don't even want to talk about this movie because
It's the movie that's one better than Shang-Chi.
I know. It was the same rating as I had for I've already forgotten the name, Spencer. But I've talked about this movie a million times, but again, just factually going off data, I had to say it because this was a 4-star movie for me, and this was by Sean Heder. I don't know if you know this person. They're lovely. And it's Koda.
Oh, sure.
I had to have it on there. I don't even want to talk about it.
I thought about it. Same kind of issue for me is it his name Emmanuel?
Who?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh God, what is his name?
Gosh, he was so annoying in that movie. The music teacher.
Oh, yeah, just let him go.
No, I can't.
Let him go. If you let him go,
He
the rest
is
of the movie's great.
aggressively bad.
He's aggressively not great, but if you let him go, if you just eliminate
He's
that
playing
from your
like
mind,
he
the rest of
always
it's
plays a
good.
caricature, but he's always doing like over the top comedies, and so like it was just so out of place for a grounded movie. He was just this.
Yeah, but I do like what I do with everything else in life. I just sort of like pull out that piece of it, eliminate it, and then the rest is compartmentalize it, and the rest is roses. And I thought the rest of it
Let's
was
do that with my scrub. Let's just put that away somewhere.
Put that away because you're a little nervous now. You know we're going to talk about
there's gonna be a
$100
something, a flogging
How
later.
many hours of work is that? You know,
An hour of work.
that's not. It's a lot
Oh,
more
for
than
her.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway, So I picked Koda. If you
it's
haven't
cute.
heard me talk about this movie, it's a child of deaf parents who she's helping and supporting her family and trying to help their family business along. She wants to grow up and kind of like move on, go off to college. She has big dreams, but it's the push-pull of the family dynamic of like wanting to help her family and the community. And does she move on? This was a Sundance movie that we had caught too, and it stuck with me. I think it was the best of Sundance.
It broke the Sundance record for the most. It was sold for the most money.
Yeah.
At Sundance, picked up by Apple TV. Apple TV.
Yeah, picked up by a streaming service that like no one has. That's a real bummer that the biggest Sundance movie ended up in such a like dank little hole. But
Yeah.
I will say, like, I think it suffers for me. Also, like, I'm more of a recency person. Like, we watched it so long ago. Had we probably caught it sooner, because it was in contention. I saw it on the 4 list. I was like, and like there were just newer movies that I had recently seen that were just fresh in my mind.
I was trying to like balance that though. Yeah. I had the same problem, but I was trying to balance that to be like, okay, did this movie stick with me? And if I had a 4 or 4.5 star movie that I saw 12 months ago and I still remembered it and liked it, then
it's definitely
should.
a Carrie movie that belongs in your top.
I don't know
5.
what that means.
No, it's a compliment.
I would have been a little surprised if this did not make your top 5.
Oh, I don't know how to take this as a pro or a con, but I'm just going to take it as positive.
It's merely a statement of how I believe the universe to be ordered.
Okay. Speaking of, let's talk about your number 4, Tim.
Let's talk about my number 4, another film from my most anticipated list. So I just, putting up all sorts of wins this time around. What was that?
Just rubbing it in.
Yep. And also we are now, so Spencer was a 4-star movie for me. We are now into the 4.5. So it didn't take too long until I got out of the dregs of the 4-star zone. But this is the return after 12 years to feature-length filmmaking by the great New Zealand director Jane Campion, with a film that sadly most of us will only ever see on Netflix. I say sadly because it is a goddamned gorgeous Western, The Power of the Dog, starring Benedict Cumberbatch as just a real shitty human being who makes life terrible for Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst and Cody Smith-McPhee, who just won the Best Supporting Actor Globe the other day. Mm-hmm. Cody Smith-McPhee did. And it's basically just this sort of character drama about this group of 4 people stuck on a ranch out in the West in the 1920s, and how one just simply horrible, toxic human being can sort of control and dominate the lives of 3 other people. And as he does this, we learn more about him and we start to understand, well, maybe this is why he's such a terrible person. But at the same time, even though we understand it, we still don't really like him very much. And it's just a very, very nicely balanced, beautifully acted, beautifully shot neo-Western that I feel confident both of you thought was just a real good time.
I have it as 4 stars.
You have Power of the Dog.
Yeah,
That's
right.
It was up for
It won the Globe. It won the Globe for drama.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened at the end. No, don't tell me. That's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Wait, do you? Spoiler.
I had to.
At the end. I remember what happened at the end. It was
I think I had to explain it to you. No, you mocked me for thinking I needed to mansplain it to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He mansplained me, and I was like, I won't say. I don't want you to beat me out, Rob, but I know what happened. It was like a mushroom situation. Like, this is the exact conversation we had. Kind of.
It was not unlike the mushroom situation.
Exactly. And I said that to Rob, and he was like, I was like, this is just like The Favorite. And Rob's like, wrong movie.
Yeah.
But he knew what I meant.
I did.
And it was like the mushroom movie. I like that ending.
It was
The Favorite was the rabbit movie.
Yes.
This movie it's just beautifully shot.
And I was talking about the dress movie. What's the dress movie?
Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread.
Yeah.
Are we meant in that movie to have any sort of empathy with Benedict Cumberbatch?
Empathy, yes.
Okay. Because I did.
You are meant to understand how he became the person he became without thinking that he is now someone that you would want to have dinner with, as they say.
I never would want to have dinner with him, but
he's a terrible human being, but he was shaped into being a terrible human being.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because actually after it wrapped, I was like, gosh, I don't know why. I felt a little sick. Like I felt bad for him, and I felt bad, and I was like, am I a weirdo for feeling bad for him because he's a terrible person? But he was so awful to so many people. But then again, you get the like unveiling of why and what might have led to that, and then you're like, I
feel like he's in every movie. He was like in The Courier, he was in Spider-Man.
Oh, he was in the one where he breaks
And
his
those
hands.
3 movies were every movie. So that is the list.
Those
What's
are
the
all
one where
movies.
he his hands are broken? And he was a surgeon.
That's Doctor Strange. We saw that this year
Oh,
because
yeah.
we re-watched many
I
of
forgot about
the
that.
movies.
Yeah, that's right. He's very good in that. Yeah, I really liked him. I don't know. You're making me rethink that movie. I think I gave it 3 stars.
Oh, it's beautiful. I can't
Yeah,
get
I
over
think I
the
give it
setting.
3.
I can't get over the setting. It was
And
just
Jesse Plemons in that was so good. It's his brother.
yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was going to get the Rob vote because it had Jesse Plemons in it.
Yeah, you're guaranteed 4 stars with the Plem. I just shorten things. That's what I do
I
now.
get it.
I
J
see.
Plem. I like it.
Well, speaking of Benedict Cumberbatch, my number 4. It was also on my top 5 anticipated. Can't help but put Spider-Man No Way Home on. Come on.
It's my number 3.
Okay, there
I'm
we go.
appalled at it.
You're ashamed about
I'm
it?
Ashamed.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed.
That you buy into the nostalgia machine that is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was kind of like, hey, how do we talk to Carrie in a way that she will feel seen and that she will feel though her world is full, and let's write it that way. And it was like, oh, make her feel like she's one with what's the original Spider-Man's name? Tobey Maguire. Make her feel like she's like one with him, and they just played on all of my needs.
Yeah, it's not it's not even close to a perfect movie. It does go places where I didn't expect things to go. I will say it drags for me quite a bit when they try to. Is it safe now to? I mean, it's like the number one movie. Everyone has seen it.
Spoil that movie. Everyone in the world.
Yeah, like when they bring all the villains together, like they're trying to give everybody a moment to be funny, and it just drags.
5 villains is at least 2 more villains than that movie had a plan for.
See, so yeah, that whole sequence when they're first all brought together was really clunky.
Really?
Really clunky for me.
I thought of it was like a reunion movie.
The actual, the hero reunion.
That too.
I enjoyed that part.
I loved that.
Because you know what, to Tim's point, a lot less 2 extra people, easy to deal with, but having so many and giving everybody some agency and time, and everybody's trying to do a little quick bit or a quick joke to be memorable. It was just too much.
That was fine for me.
It's the issue is that there are 5 Spider-Man movies and they wanted to have a villain from each one of them. 5 pre-Marvel MCU movies, and that's a lot. And they never figured out why Sandman was in that movie at all. But I did like the 3 Spider-Mans. I thought they were good. I thought Andrew Garfield was much better in this film than he was in his own movies. A lot.
There's been a recent push to try to let's get let's get Amazing Spider-Man 3, which is not going to happen.
I am not confident that I want that to happen, but I do think that he was better in this movie than he was in his 2 solo films.
Yeah. I like where it ended. I like Doctor Strange in that as the kind of surrogate Tony Stark. But yeah, Tim, you gave it 2 stars.
Not a fan.
That's uncharitable. Here's my other question. So we watched a lot of things this year, like Ghostbusters, I'll even say in particular, where I was like, well, these effects are really bad. Where the fog, the slime, the this, the that, everything didn't feel particularly believable, or I don't know, just felt cheesy. This one in particular, I felt like the effects worked for me. The CGI wasn't too much, and I felt like the effects were, I don't know, more realistic type things. And I think in your review, you specifically called out the fact that it was not, that the effects were distracting and bad. Can you elaborate on why you were incorrect about that?
I literally do not recall saying a word about the effects. So now I'm curious. I'm going to swing over to my,
your own review.
To my review and see exactly what I said about the effects.
I thought you did. So I thought you made a comment, or maybe it was in your letterbox. I read something that you had written.
I'm not saying anything about effects in his letterbox. He says it's visually uninspired.
Visually uninspired.
Yeah.
Oh, that's different.
Oh, what does that mean?
I think it means that I think it was very uninterestingly shot. It's very brown.
Okay. I thought there were some colors.
This is my favorite, by the way, of the Tom Holland Spider-Man
Agreed on
movies
that.
by far. Tim, I think you put it at least higher than Far From Home.
I would put Homecoming still above it just because I think Keaton's Vulture is so good.
I
true.
did not like Homecoming, which is so funny. I felt like it was so forced, and like the high school storyline felt so like, I don't know, boring and blah. Like this felt like such a compelling. He was old enough to be in love, so the love story was working for me, and yeah, I really liked this. You know what? I'm not
Karen,
ashamed.
I knocked out your number 3.
Yeah.
So before we hit our break, we're going to do Tim's number 3 and then my
Okay.
number 3.
Maybe it's on my list.
All right.
I like it.
Let's see.
So my number 3 is a film that would have been on my summer most anticipated list. I decided not to because I didn't want to subject you guys to too many Asian art films. I regret that choice because if I had put it on my list, it was at that point in time my favorite movie of the year when I first saw this film back in, I think, late August, maybe is when I first watched it.
More
I'm
close.
referring to a gorgeous, sad, very impenetrably slow and boring art film by Tsai Ming Liang called Days. And Days is about 2 men, one of whom is very rich and middle-aged and has a fucked up neck. And he sits in his house and is sad. And we can tell that he's sad because the opening shot of the movie is 6 minutes of him staring through a window at the rain. And the camera doesn't move and he doesn't move. And all we do is hear rain for 6 minutes. Very good. Very good cinema. And so at a certain point, he crosses paths with this very poor young man who is a sort of jack of all trades. He prepares produce and he moves things around for people. And he also works as a sort of chiropractor. It's not a chiropractor, but he does like a traditional medicine. And so our wealthy man has gotten very tired of being treated by medical specialists who don't know anything. So he's like, okay, what the hell? I'll go to this traditional medicine. And the guy gives him a full body massage. And you get the very clear sense that this is the first moment of intimate human contact either one of these men have experienced in God knows how long. And that happens. And then they part ways. And then they just go back to their lives. And there's still about an hour of movie left to just watch them kind of being sad again.
Do you happen to know, Tim, I think most importantly...
Also, there is not a single word of dialogue spoken in this movie.
Oh,
Wow.
I think did you talk about this? Because I feel like I
I
remember...
did. I was super excited about it.
I remember zoning out on something similar several months ago when it
might have made my summer top 5. I don't remember.
I think it did. Do you, I think most importantly, know, did he pay more or less than $100 for this
it
body
seems
situation?
hardly likely that he paid more.
Yeah,
that is a just scandalous amount
He
of
seems
money.
like a wise man. So I would say,
Are you disappointed to hear there's a sequel called Weeks coming out soon?
I think you just made that up on the spot.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I was believing you.
I'm kind of interested.
No, you're not. You're interested in Days.
Yeah, I want to see what kind of massage this was.
a sad and erotic one.
Okay.
You're never going to watch this, Rob. You're
No, I
never
don't
going
think
to
I
watch
will.
it. No.
It's only 2 hours and 6 minutes long.
We'll think about it, Tim. We'll consider it. We'll think about it.
Well, I think I have a movie that ended up on my top 5. So we're following along the same lines here with our number 3s, Tim. I have what was released in 2020, but 2021 in U.S., much like Days, I think must have been as well.
Yes, it was.
And also ended up on my top of the summer list, which is Riders of Justice. Just a fantastic.
You were super high on this movie.
I can't. And I think probably it's kind of like seeing a band that nobody's heard of, and like a good band that nobody's heard of. Like, I just feel like I got to this early, so I'm really proud of myself for finding it as early as I did. And it's just a really good movie.
Is it like writers like boop 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 boop?
No, it's the name comes from the gang that's portrayed in here. This
writers or writers?
Oh, sorry, rider, like a motorcycle. It's like
Okay.
motorcycle gang.
I am
Rider.
curious, Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
The noise you made
Mm-hmm.
corresponded to which spelling of the word?
That was if you were a WRITER.
And what does a writer in the prosecution of their duty do that makes the noise boop, 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 boop?
They type.
Ah.
Yeah. I'm glad
You
it's
haven't
clear
typed
now.
recently, have you?
I haven't.
So this movie follows Mads Mikkelsen, who's a lifer military person deployed, and his wife and a teenage daughter are getting ready for the holidays. Actually, it opens up with a bike, just a bicycle being stolen, and that's it. And then like that's the kind of that's where it starts.
Okay.
But then cuts to he's lifer, and they're getting ready for the holidays. They take the train. This other gentleman who's him and his partner have just tried to pitch some like mathematical algorithm about how like they find out that what.
I'm so sorry. No, it just sounds so boring.
What?
No, it just
which part? I haven't even.
No, I don't know. It just sounds like the way you're
movies are the best movies, Carrie. You need to just calm down.
It sounds like you're trying to like build it up, and it just seems...
So what does the algorithm do?
Their algorithm basically tells the marketing firm what they already know, that like people like something. It tells them something obvious.
So see, Carrie, the algorithm tells us something we already know that's obvious. How is this not exciting cinema?
So he gets fired, and the guy also takes the train. He's on the train, gives up his seat. The mathematician who does algorithms and chaos theory gives up his seat to the mother and the daughter. The train goes off the rails and the mother dies.
Okay.
So he doesn't believe that there are any accidents, and he starts kind of researching and finds out, and he believes that that this was no accident, that this was staged, and that they tried to run this train off the road in order to kill someone else. And so they get in touch with the husband, the now deceased husband. He feels a little guilty because he's the one who gave up the seat.
Oh, okay.
So he gets in touch with the husband.
But his kid survived?
The daughter survives.
Okay.
And they kind of, this unlikely band of misfits get together with this like high-profile killer, Mads Mikkelsen, who's like a trained soldier, comes back, and then they tell him like, here's the proof, here's the mathematical formula that yes, this was not an accident, there are no accidents. But what the movie then becomes,
you're so excited.
I'm very excited about this.
I know,
because it's like, oh, this is going to just be like just a fun action movie with some fun comedy, because there's these buddy sidekicks that have no business being in an action movie. But then it turns into something that has a message, and like it's subtext, and it's like a meta situation where it's really telling you how all of the movies that are like this are awful, and that how there are no like things don't happen for like a reason, and like you just have to be okay with that.
You don't think that?
It's just trying to make sense out of the senseless. In the movie, I think, ends up saying that, well, that's the problem, is you're trying to make sense. You're trying to find meaning where there is no meaning, and that's the problem.
So is it a message on fate?
And there's also the problem of like glorifying these types of action movies, of like then dealing with the consequences of it afterwards. And that's the takeaway I think, Tim, I think you might really like this.
I don't know. You had me hooked when you were talking about a math algorithm, and then all of a sudden it's got a plot, and it's got stakes, and it's got themes.
You had me at the mom dying, and then now I'm starting to get lost too.
I don't know.
You can get me back. You can get me back.
I got nothing. Nothing else without spoiling.
Does anyone speak a single word in this movie?
Yeah, they speak, but it's subtitled. It's a different language.
It's subtitled. Wow, Rob.
Okay, well then I can pretend they're not talking.
But he had the English subtitles on, Tim.
No, I will say this has made it onto your list now. I think that probably is the goose I needed to actually put it on my catch-up list.
I think this is one I've not forgotten.
Is this kind of like what's that movie I love? Sliding Doors, kind of like fate and destiny.
Sure. In a way.
Okay.
It doesn't portray like parallel paths, but it deals with consequences.
But Gwyneth Paltrow has a good role in this one.
Yeah, she's very prominently.
Wait,
featured.
she's in this?
No.
Oh, gosh, guys.
Has she been in a movie in like 10 years at this point?
She's running Goop right now, Tim, making lots of money on a weird website.
On God knows what she's making money on.
Who knows?
Well, in good picks so far. Before we hit our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show. Get early access, exclusive content, make us watch a movie, pick your own episode topic, and more from our Patreon site. We had Harold Bleacher went all the way out and snagged our last Oscar. So all of our Oscars now are sold out. Thank you so much, Harold.
Thank you, Harold.
That's a biggie.
Yeah, he's going to be able to decide on a movie for you and I, and or Tim, and then also Tim will do a review and then an episode topic as well too. Also gives him exclusive access to kind of shape the Bride of AE as well to all of our Oscar winners. Our Oscar winners get to
control.
Yeah. We hand over the keys to the kingdom. Also celebrating their anniversaries in the month of January, we had Birkin in Minnesota. Carrie, You're on the list.
What?
Richard Peterson.
You know what?
I'm also on the list
I
as
just
well
upped
too.
myself
yeah,
too.
I
I had to up myself so that I could join the movie club.
don't steal the thunder from our other actual.
Oh, sorry.
You are just stealing money from yourself if you do that, because it's going back to you having been filtered through Patreon fees.
Yeah. You should probably downgrade.
I should downgrade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also have Max Jacobson at the Razzie Award level, Daytona at the Palme d'Or. My folks who were our first patrons still giving strong.
They don't know though.
Sundance. They've just forgotten
that
that
they're
their
contributing. They
credit
would like
card
to
is still
cancel.
on file.
Yeah.
And then Diego Santamaria with our Critics' Choice Award.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversaries. Care anything
Thank you, everyone.
in our in Tim's sack here.
An abundance. And that's going to be a bit of a problem.
He's got a full load going.
I need to spend myself $100 on a body scrub, don't I?
You do. So again, I can't get to all of the questions that have come in, but I'm going to get to a couple this week. So do you want the one that I have no chance of answering and neither does Rob, or do you want the light one first?
Let's take the light one first.
Take light one first. Okay, this one I'm going to send to you, Rob. I'm going to send this one to you.
Oh my gosh, I should pay attention.
You should. Hi there.
Well, then why would you give me the choice if it was going to be making Rob answer a question?
That's a good question. That's also a good question. Hi there. Here's a question for everyone, but it's mostly for Rob or whomever may wish to answer it. I'd like to know the origin of your podcast theme song. I like to imagine that you all perform it live at the start of every episode, with Rob on lead vocals and Tim and Carrie providing the backup vocals and rhythmic clapping. But sadly, this is clearly not the case. Can you enlighten me? Thanks for the laughs. Your show makes me feel like I'm back in the dorm listening to film kids argue about movies. Cameron.
Oh, Cameron. Thank you for...
Cameron.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Cameron. Is she from film school with you
She
guys?
is from the literal dorm. Yes.
Oh, your actual
we are
dorm.
all dorm buddies.
I thought you guys were in an all-boys school.
What?
Or like all-boys dorm.
No.
You had
You just think
girls?
that because none of us had sex until we graduated college, but that's just a Northwestern thing.
Oh, that is why. I see.
And really just for our side of the campus, too.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
everybody up north was having lots of sex.
I hope you don't find this offensive, but
They were having more sex.
I hope you don't find this offensive, but like, why weren't you?
So here's a fun thing about
Yeah.
Northwestern. At the time we were undergraduates, I believe this is an actual stat and not just like something that got made up. Fewer Northwestern undergraduates were sexually active than undergraduates at Brigham Young University, a school where you're not permitted to hold hands with other people of the opposite sex in public.
That's interesting stat.
That is interesting.
That's where we're
stat.
sending our kids.
That's,
We definitely
This is how hardcore Northwestern people were about being
abstinent.
antisocial virgins.
What was the percentage that wasn't?
High.
Tim doesn't know this offhand.
Oh, he
I
knows.
don't remember it offhand.
Oh, you don't? I feel like you would have logged that into memory. Okay.
Well, let's get back to Cameron's
Sorry,
question.
I forgot the question. Okay,
Yeah, so the theme song, we were borrowing music early on when it was just the Carrie and Rob days of alternate ending, and we were borrowing from a friend, Lo Kung's band Fervor, and was giving us his music for free. Rather, we weren't going to get into copyright law issues, because I know that if we played some Maroon 5 or something like that they'd be all
They'd be
over us.
coming for
Yeah,
you.
they know where we live.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do it legit way, and then at some point when we became more official, we realized we needed some sort of actual song, and I knew that I wanted it to be fun, and I really wanted it to sound like the theme song to what is it called, DuckTales. I had that in my head, so I had a little like tune in to alternate ending, tune in. So I had that. I recorded that.
So you've just verified that it's not your actual voice.
Thank you. I had that recorded, and then I shopped around to local producers and just asked hey, for a couple bucks, would you mind throwing together a song? And I sent him the little idea of what it is, and then
The tune in to alternate ending, tune in to alternate ending.
yeah, and then I don't know where they sourced the person and came up with the
You came up with the lyrics.
No.
You didn't?
No, I did not.
This is all a
That's
sham.
just someone just improvising.
Really?
Yeah.
So they had to know if we were talking about movies.
Yeah, like I said, I gave an outline, and I said make it like DuckTales, and that was
Wow.
it. And then I sent them my little
This
my
changes
little
everything.
sound.
I thought you actually
No.
were the creative mind behind all
So
of this the
many
whole time.
movies on the net
Net
TV.
When are we going to switch over, by the way, to a soulful like a young, like 19 or 20-year-old woman singing our song in a very slowed down, sad key.
Ooh, that'd be
Kind
nice.
of like a Nora Jones vibe.
Or, Billie Eilish, just that kind of thing.
That would be fun. You know what? Now that by the way,
That's what movies do these days.
yeah, we're in season 7 of
Jesus
Alternate. I know,
fucking
right?
Christ.
We should, like, every year, it should be the same song but sung in a different.
I
Like The Wire.
that.
Yeah.
It should be like The Wire.
Oh, I still have not caught up with The Wire. But
So because I'm
we're
appalled,
better than The Wire.
I'm appalled by all of this and not knowing that you didn't have a more in hand of it. What if all three of us actually sing it for the next one?
Absolutely not. What is wrong with you? What
I've
is
heard
broken
your
in your
voice.
head?
You are a very nice alto. I think you have a very nice alto tone.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, great question.
And we did just get your husband's very beautiful falsetto.
That's true. That's true. I'm going to throw one more question at you guys. So, generally speaking, most cinephiles' understanding of truly bad movies seems to span only half the time that movies have been around, from the sci-fi and horror boom of the 1950s through the present day. Aside from the occasional poverty row camp-like, oh my gosh, sorry, this is one of those questions that I'm like, I don't know. Aside from the occasional poverty row, and I'm going to say poverty row is capitalized for some reason.
Because it is a location.
Exactly. Camp
There
classic.
is a poverty row.
There
It
is.
is a place.
It's a place. Classic, like Reefer Madness, which is also capitalized. All the bad, in quote, movies from before the 1950s seem to fall into one of a few categories. 1, dull Oscar winners. 2, poverty row quickies. Or 3, racist. So, my question
Well, some
is,
of those racist movies are fucking terrific. Birth of a Nation, good movie.
Birth of it, the one I saw wasn't. But anyway, so my question is,
Actually, Birth of a Nation's super boring. I take that back.
yeah, take that back. Don't put that on the record. Delete that. So my question
Triumph
is,
of the Will, great movie.
yes. Are there any of my favorite kind of bad movies, the spectacular, campy boondoggles from the 1950s? Or if not that, are there any major Hollywood movies from that era that are just so inept that they would peel my eyes out of my head? Thanks, Travis Neely.
So I assume I'm taking a crack at this one.
I mean, for sure.
Okay. So to the unspoken part of the question, why aren't there more bad movies from before the 50s? Couple things. One, as with all of film history, we've lost most of what came out from before 1929 or 1930. And what we have was generally saved because someone thought it was worth saving. So all of the really shitty, awful garbage movies from the silent era, they're not there. They don't exist. Like, why would you save those movies? I mean, obviously you and I would because we care about that kind of thing, but the archivists doing this work in the 40s and 50s did not. The Hollywood studio system that dominated English language filmmaking through 1948 was too good at its job to make really terrible movies. They could make boring movies. They could make some hella boring movies. And I'm sure, Travis, you've seen them. You've mentioned boring Oscar winners. I have a few. Cimarron is one, Cavalcade. These are unwatchably dull, but there's just too much quality control there. And it's really not until the 1940s that starts to loosen. Now, what you do have in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, as you pointed out, Poverty Row, you have B movies. The ones that precede the 1950s, which is the period of, the sci-fi pictures and the sort of wonderful campy movies that show up in Mystery Science Theater, and 90% of B movies were Westerns. And at a certain point, every B Western looks like every other B Western. So it's, again, sort of like who's doing the curation work, who's like saying these are the good, bad movies from the 30s. Nobody, because nobody wants to watch 400 B Westerns. I mean, I'm sure people do, but not me and not you. So that's kind of why I think the canon of bad movies starts really in the early 1950s, because that's when you start to get more variety and I think just more fun genres to watch. But I feel like that was not the actual question you asked. I feel like the question, Carrie, was could you just quickly summarize the actual question part of the question?
Sure. So my question is, are there any of my favorite kind of bad movies, the spectacular, campy boondoggles from the 1950s? Or if not that, are there any major Hollywood movies from this era that are just so inept that they would peel my eyes out of my head?
The 1936 Romeo and Juliet, starring the very, very middle-aged Leslie Howard and Norma Shearer as Romeo and Juliet. It is shockingly bad.
Yeah,
Best
I
Picture
heard that.
nominee.
Yeah.
Shockingly bad.
That would peel the eyes right out of my head as well. So
You also get to hear Andy Devine, who has one of the most very distinctive voices in the history of the motion picture, deliver Shakespearean dialogue, and that'll peel your eardrums back too.
all right. Well, thank you, Travis, for your question, and Cameron as well. If you too have a question for Tim Sack, you can submit your questions to contact@alternateending.com.
Also want to thank all of our listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com. See the Amazon banner up there. Click on it and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Here are the things that were purchased since the last time. We had an Amazon gift card with the smile logo on it.
That's nice.
Yeah. We had a waterproof, breathable, lightweight rainwear.
Oh, wait, waterproof. Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
You would not want your rainwear to be water permeable. It
Exactly.
would not work very well.
We also had maybe for me, a best relaxing spa gift box basket.
Did you buy that for yourself?
No.
Are you
No, I
sure?
did not.
So I was going to say, I think you should at this point just take it on faith that your wife will never buy you a spa gift for the rest of your marriage.
Ever.
Which I do
again.
not expect to last much longer.
Wow.
This is a fun little book. Someone got the complete cookbook for young scientists. Great way to kind
Oh.
of start teaching sciences through food.
Chemical reactions.
cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and cooking. Yeah.
Cool.
We also had the Book of the Covenant. Covenant of Joseph Keenhe. Business and Industrial Supplies. We had some Loctite, super glue, ultra gel control.
Ooh, is that you?
No.
Okay.
What would I be doing with that?
I mean, I don't know.
Locking shit tight.
Yeah, you like to glue things.
We also had some CDs. We had Through Child's Eyes, little folk songs for adults.
Are people still buying CDs? Like the
CDs and vinyl, so it's kind of like a general
I
category.
bought a CD not 2 weeks ago.
I believe that.
This is
Was
kind of
it
Every
this
creepy.
one?
every single time you say, "Do people still buy CDs?" I've always happened to have just bought a CD.
I know.
It's
know.
becoming very
I've
uncomfortable.
So
seen your
these
collection.
are folk songs sung by kids, but in it's specifically for adults. That's interesting.
Are they like horrible, tragic folk songs about like my lover was buried in a coal mining accident
But kids
and
are
now his
singing
ghost
it?
haunts these hills?
We also had a hard carrying case for the Nintendo 2DS.
That's you.
Nice with a 24 game cartridge case holder. That's for on the go.
Wow. Oh, okay.
You know,
Nice.
you want to be able to travel with that. Clothing and accessories had a men's big and tall long mesh shorts with pockets.
Oh,
Had,
pockets.
with pockets. We had some women's short sleeve modal sleepwear with a casual V-neck nightgown.
I should have gotten that, Rob, for
Yeah,
this trip.
you
I'm going to
should-
tell
you
you.
You should have bought clothes from the internet rather than from whatever sad, tragic, middle-aged ladies thrift store you went to.
It was Target, and I'm going to tell you right now, Rob, you're in for
Target was selling that dress.
No, oh no, that was Old Navy. I was at Old Navy
Okay.
before that, and then
A store where people under 70 shop was selling that dress.
you couldn't see from the photo that there were some very sort of provocative gold flecks.
Could you see your ankles in that dress? Because I can imagine
Just barely.
nothing else about
They
it
were
that could
just-
possibly be described as provocative.
They were just peeking out, if you don't mind. But I got to the pajama section. Rob was like, "This is going to be like a romantic getaway." So I got to the pajama section at Target, and I saw some sweet sweatpants, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" Like, but if I pair it with like a fitted tank top, that's I don't want to spoil
Sold.
anything, Rob, but I got something for you.
One thing you didn't get is the Lenovo laptop shoulder bag, Karen.
You know what?
You didn't get one of those.
I didn't,
No. Should have.
but I love a good Lenovo.
Tim, what do you think about...
I have a Lenovo.
Yeah. Well, you should get a laptop shoulder bag just like someone did from our Amazon.
I have a laptop shoulder bag.
Oh,
I've had one for years.
Do you have the digital video subscription to Stars? I feel like Stars
No.
has a good catalog of films.
they?
I'm not subscribing, but every so often when we get a movie that I want to see, it's
You do the 7-day
exclusively-
trial.
Yeah, and I forget to unenroll.
You say you always
I should
remember.
probably check.
Yeah, you should. We're enrolled. Basically, we're enrolled. Right
We also had someone get a power surge protector, a Fire TV Fire Stick, Dynasty rice or jasmine rice, 5 pounds of that with
Love
three
jasmine rice.
packs.
Ah,
Yeah, 3 packs
love it.
of
It
that.
has a good flavor.
Some palm olive ultra strength dish soap. That's what we use. The green stuff.
No,
My parents use the green as well.
Is that what we use?
Yeah, that's what you bought.
That's very fragrant.
Yeah, it's a little on the strong
Actually a little
side.
strong,
On the strong
yeah.
side.
I use the Mrs. Myers Clean Day, the ones that have the like nice little essential oil smells.
Oh,
very nice.
aren't you very holistic? That's nice.
Yeah, I'm using the peppermint one. It was actually after I had COVID the other month. It was the first thing I could smell was my Mrs. Myers peppermint
Good
dishwashing soap.
nostalgia. You're always going to love it now.
Exactly.
Also had some light blocking curtains, an extension cord. Let's see here. A sterling silver dreamy dragonfly necklace. Sounds like something your dad would get for you.
Or it sounds like something that a good spouse would give. Rob,
I got you. Are you wearing the necklace I got you for Christmas? Probably not.
No, oh my gosh. We didn't talk about that in the opening. Brief second. Rob for Christmas got me workout clothes. Are you supposed to get your spouse workout clothes?
That's what you asked for.
I just not from you. Workout clothes.
You should have bought her a fucking outfit for the Maldives.
That's
Should have.
a good point.
You should have. Not only that, I got the detergent that goes with it to get the extra like deep smells out of workout clothes.
So that nasty BO that happens in your workout clothes doesn't hang around and bother
Can
you.
you
I like it, Rob. Very
believe
smart.
this? Can you believe this? And then I did say I never asked for anything because I just don't want anything ever other than service, like wash my dishes, like that kind of stuff.
Is that what you guys call it?
Amongst other things, but he gets me this necklace and it was like a mother's necklace and I open it and so I'm like, oh, this is really, actually it's really kind. Like I really wanted that. And so I look and
Oh,
it's
am
like,
I not supposed to put my name on it?
yeah. I asked for a mother's necklace. I get it. It's got 3 rings on it. Abby, Alice, and Rob.
Okay, that's. I was gonna. Rob, come now.
Oh, really? I'm not supposed to put my name on it?
I didn't know how to tell you because I
dipshit.
couldn't go back. I thought maybe it was one of those ones that I like had like a little break in it and I could bend it and but no, it was like clean on there.
Just get like fucking like wire cutter.
You know what? Good news, Care? I didn't spend a lot of money on it.
No,
so
I
it's
could
fine.
tell it's already tarnishing. I know.
I was gonna spend more or less than $100, Rob.
For sure less than his exfoliation. And again, I still appreciate it.
Huh.
But
Although it sounds like the exfoliating might have actually lasted longer. So.
I didn't know you don't put your name on it, the husband's
No.
name on those things.
on
huh?
my mother's necklace. I mean,
It's
do
not
sometimes
called a
feel
mother's
I'm-
necklace.
Yeah,
but,
that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lesson learned for next year. We also had some Kindle ebooks that I won't pronounce. Stuff to do with the Torah and then something in German because
Oh,
it
I
is
know
the German
about that.
edition.
Yeah.
Kitchen and dining. We had a donut pan. Tim, I'd like for you, given your baking prowess, to try donuts out. But
My mother actually, possibly that exact donut pan, in fact, got a donut pan for Christmas and baked up some donuts. And it was great because none of us could taste, but they were donuts. All right.
like that feels like a donut in my mouth.
Texturally, yeah.
But no, I have cooked proper donuts, the kind that you fry in oil.
Very nice. Yeah, your dad
And
does
they're,
that
they're,
too.
they're
He does.
darn good.
Yeah, my dad does it powdered ones. Like he puts powdered sugar all over them. They're very good.
Someone also got a UV lamp to detect any,
UVs.
Yeah, things
What
on
would
the
you
sheet.
detect?
Fluids.
That's like
stains.
that's like a blue light.
That's a UV light.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what that was purchased.
that's not why they bought it.
I don't know why they bought it.
I'm not gonna tell people what to do in their bedroom
Why would you scan your own bedroom? That'd be very strange.
to brag.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Oh,
That's
someone also got like a pet ramp so that they could,
Don't tell me
climb
that.
up.
Don't tell me that. That's the dog food person probably. And now all
Oh
of a
no,
sudden
the
they're
dog is
morphing
old in
into a
arthritic now.
ramp.
Oh no.
Oh, I just thought, just so they
It's
don't
our
have to jump in
7th
bed.
season. That dog's like 8 years old
Oh
now.
my
The dog's
gosh.
gonna die.
Tim, don't say that. This dog is very alive.
I
and
don't.
well.
My cousin gave her eldest daughter guinea pigs for Christmas or her birthday, which is right after Christmas, and she got 3-year-old guinea pigs, and like
Don't they live
those
to
guinea
like
pigs,
6?
they got like a year and a half left in them. What is fucking wrong?
Maybe that was intentional. That could be
I think
intentional.
it was.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
dark. That's dark though.
The guinea pigs could have used like a warranty, like someone got the Apple Care Plus
Who?
for their Apple Watch.
That's what I never
Downloaded
get the
that.
protection.
That segue felt like we were just rammed into a brick wall on a monorail.
Darn it! Yeah, it's
Sounds
my
good.
first time back in a while. So
Well, I also left you with dead guinea pigs, so
Yeah.
you didn't have a whole lot of places to go.
Click and Play 9-piece doll puppy set. Probably for the American Girl dolls. That stuff is pricey. American Girl.
That stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
We
crazy.
have never gotten an American Girl doll, and I never will. That's
This is a
my
cool
opinion.
gift idea.
Well, you are like 37, so it would be a little bit weird at this point.
Care, look at this for the kids. Make your own clay geode wind chime craft kit.
We're not doing that, Rob.
Oh, okay.
You buy a lot of craft kits, and they're just sitting
Also,
in
the
boxes.
magnet tiles that was
Yeah.
purchased.
I like them, but we're not getting them.
A do-it-yourself miniature room set woodcraft construction kit for kids, and then
Nice.
moving on to excuse me, Blu-rays and DVDs. We had Cartoon Saloon's Irish Folklore Trilogy on Blu-ray. We had Ludwig, the 2-disc standard special edition on Blu-ray. And then someone was prepping for Spider-Man with a little. Yeah, they got inspired by the Andrew Garfield and got the Amazing Amazing Spider-Man 4K and Amazing Spider-Man 2 on 4K.
Which is the best of those?
Well, I don't remember any of them, to be honest. I remember a scene with Gwen Stacy. I don't know if you have a feeling on that, Tim.
So my feeling is that the thing froze, and all I heard you say was Gwen Stacy. I don't know if you have a feeling on that, Tim.
Oh, sure. So, Tim, how about you on the Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2? Do you have a preference on those?
I think they're both quite bad, but I think one is a little bit less bad.
Okay. Yeah, I can't parse it out. It's been too long, and I haven't revisited either one. I just remember the Gwen Stacy debacle.
Which is not well handled, yeah.
No, it is not. Well, when we get back, we'll wrap up our top 5 films of 2021. And welcome back to Alternating. We're talking about our top 5 films of 2021. We each have 2 left, our number 2 and our number 1 films of 2021. Carrie, over to you with your number 2. Bring it home. What star rating are you at now? Have you cracked the 4.5 mark
I
yet?
have. I'm at 4.5 now. Actually,
This is where I get into 4.5 territory.
okay. Specifically for this one, I searched it up. I saw it and I was like, yeah, I still feel this way about this movie. The reason I felt this way is I hate musicals, as you know, and yet this was a musical and I really, really loved it. On top of that, I felt like it was grappling with a lot of the feelings that I've had over the course of the last maybe a couple of years, specifically in the last year or so.
The immigrant situation?
Which movie is that?
Oh, I thought you were talking about West Side Story.
Oh, gosh.
No. Somehow she only gave that movie 3.5 despite not liking musicals and having put it on her most anticipated list.
That was generous of me. This one was like the one where I felt like I was being picked on, but at the same time I felt seen and I felt like
You didn't put this as your number 2, motherfuck. What is wrong with you?
I don't understand you at the core and why you didn't like this more, because this is mean and picking on people and humanity, and I thought you would love that. And I don't understand. So this is both written and directed and acted by Bo Burnham.
Oh, sure.
And
Oh, this
movie
isn't what I thought you were talking about.
Oh, what did you think?
I thought you were talking about Dear Evan Hansen.
No, I'm not like that bad.
Okay. Yeah, no, Inside was a 4-star.
So this was 4.5 for me. I laughed. Like, this came at a time when I just so desperately needed it too, of like, I just need a good laugh. Like, I need a good chuckle. He's making fun of himself. He's making fun of the world. He's making fun of everything. Like, the whole world's a mess and it's imploding, but we're all sort of like in the same place. And the fact though that, like, I feel like a lot of cinephiles poo-pooed on this one, but at the same time too, this was hard to do. Like, this was a huge undertaking to like make all of this in his apartment with his equipment and whatever. And I don't care if he had nice equipment or nicer equipment than just like, you know, what's that Soderbergh guy with his iPhone? Like, yeah, he had a good setup and all that stuff, but I don't care. Like, this was just really creative and inventive and fun. And I laughed, and I really, really liked this movie. And I know you didn't, Tim.
Did he not?
Seen it.
I don't think he's seen
Oh.
it. Yeah.
This my sense is that I would not count this as a movie, so I haven't made any effort to catch up with it.
Oh, it's absolutely a movie. Why would you not think that?
The impression I've gotten is that it's more in the line of like a stand-up special.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't. What would you say, Rob? You've seen it.
I'd say it's more like a bunch of music videos pieced together. But Yeah, I mean, I don't know the art form enough to tell what's a movie and what's not a movie.
It didn't cross my mind to like. I don't even have this on my like 100 film long. Ooh, I better see this before I wrap up the year.
Oh,
So maybe
I feel like you should. I really feel like you should. And if you
the songs are funny.
The songs
at
are
the very
hilarious.
least, listen to the soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you missed this, so this was Inside. He originally called it Bo Burnham Inside. It looks like it's been rebranded to just Inside. But either way, I just thought this was just a ton of fun. So that's why I made my number 2.
Okay. No, it's memorable. Certainly memorable. For a lot of people, like it like you said, it spoke to them. It like defined what their experience was. It helped kind of, it was very cathartic.
Move us forward. It was cathartic.
Yeah.
Agreed. So that's my number 2.
So speaking of a ton of fun, you know what's a ton of fun? Regicide.
What's a
Am I right?
regicide?
Killing people, killing kings in particular.
Is that what regicide is?
And that's what regicide is. And you know who killed a king?
No.
Macbeth.
Oh, sure.
So my number 2, very recent film, so recent that it just hit Apple Plus TV, whatever the name of that streaming service is, this past Friday, the 14th of January, The Tragedy of Macbeth, the first film written and directed only by Joel Cohen. His brother Ethan has temporarily, possibly permanently, retired from cinema, leaving Joel to handle the first Cohen adaptation of Shakespeare. It is a film based entirely on the original text from Shakespeare's play Macbeth. Stars Denzel Washington as Macbeth, Frances McDormand, and of course as Lady Macbeth. A few other really wonderful performances. It is not, crucially not, and I've in fact given this specific piece of advice to one of my friends. This should not be how you learn what the play Macbeth is. It does not work for that. It assumes you know the plot. It assumes you're familiar with the basics of what happens in Macbeth, because this is a very strange adaptation of the play that's based more on sort of digging into the primordial emotions being stirred up by the play than actually trying to stage the play in a weird way. Gorgeously shot in black and white by Bruno Del Bonell with this really just crazy, hard, white, minimalistic production design that makes everything feel very stage bound, but in this kind of big, burly, gorgeous photographed way. I was salivating over this movie when I saw it. I was just head over heels. It's a stylish movie. It's stylish as hell, and we all know that I like stylish movies. Really interesting acting, not always good acting necessarily, but always interesting acting. And in particular, what Catherine Hunter does as the weird sister, she plays all 3 of them, is certainly my favorite performance of 2021 and probably a top 5 Shakespeare on screen performance for me at this point. I was just blown away by what she does. She's basically playing them as Gollum. Like she plays all 3 of the weird sisters kind of in the same shot, but she changes the shape of her body and her voice to change between the sisters. Really, really cool stuff. Really strange. I got a huge kick out of this. Again, it's streaming on everybody's 4th favorite streaming service, Apple TV, whatever. Check it out if you didn't have a chance to see it in theaters, as you most likely didn't. But this one is so good, so beautiful.
Is this mainstream good?
I mean, there's an extremely good chance it's going to be nominated for the Oscars. So if you think the Oscars are mainstream, then yes.
Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of buzz about it in the Discord, the AE Discord, talking about it, and people were really liking it too. But that's never a safe bet for me if I'll like it or not.
Let's put it this way: compared to the dialogue-free Taiwanese film about gay men who can't feel love, this is super mainstream.
Okay. All right.
So clearly, Joel is the better of the Coens, is what we've learned from this.
Oh, clearly, Ethan can just fucking jump into the river. As far as I'm concerned, at this point, we don't need him anymore.
You know, I never thought about this, but are many of their? I know, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" is like Homer's The Odyssey. Like, how much of their material has been like adapted from?
So, "Oh Brother" is a very loose adaptation of The Odyssey. "Miller's Crossing" is a somewhat faithful quasi adaptation of Dashiell Hammett's novel Red Harvest, and this.
Okay,
I think that's it.
So it's not like they do it for that. They do that for the majority of their.
No,
movies.
Certainly the majority of their stuff is original.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested, and it's all done iambic pentameter, like the traditional.
Oh yeah, it's the Shakespearean language. He did not write a single word. It is all from the play.
I can't
he
picture
rearranged
Denzel
it. He cut some stuff out.
delivering Shakespeare. But he
Was that-
can. I can't picture Denzel delivering Shakespeare, but he does it, huh?
It's fascinating. He's not at all trying to make it sound old fashioned or like theatrical. He's just sort of speaking words in a very normal way. It really works in an interesting, strange way. I really like his performance. Francis's I liked a little bit less.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in checking this one out. One of my that should have been on my anticipated ended up as my favorite, second favorite of the year, and I should have known because I should have had faith in Denis Villeneuve, and that's Dune.
Oh,
Another great theatrical experience before theaters went away again, or not away, but just more.
I
more
would
challenging.
fairly comfortably call this my single favorite theatrical experience of 2021.
Oh, very nice.
it's up there for me too.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I don't remember anything that happened, but just the actual shots.
It
like
was
the visuals.
loud and it was sand and it was big.
Like,
Yeah, great
so
score.
much sand.
I mean, this is an epic movie.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
This is the definition of that. Like very immersive and just beautifully shot. I can't get over it. The plot mechanics, like it's a bit. There's a lot that happens. Certainly a lot easier to understand. I haven't seen it, but then the original Dune from what I hear. So a lot more straightforward, even though you might have had some challenge.
Much more straightforward.
So you kind of have an idea of what's going on. Great performances. I'm not on the Chalamet bandwagon. So if anything, like that was the drawback for me. Is like I wish I cared a little bit more about him as a character in this, or like as the lead. But otherwise, like I really enjoyed this film.
I completely agree. I thought this was great. I thought it was just great, big, heaving popcorn awesomeness. I wish I'd seen this movie twice on IMAX. I saw it once. Great experience, like I said. And I do agree with you, Rob. I think that Chalamet is a weak link here. And one of the things that does concern me very much about Dune Chapter 2, which was greenlit in the wake of this film's terrific critical reception, Chalamet and Zendaya are going to be much more front and center in Chapter 2, and I don't feel good about that.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about it. Yeah, it's certainly not the same chemistry that we get with Holland and Zendaya.
So I don't even think Zendaya. I never get her chemistry.
I like her.
I don't. I mean, I like.
I
her.
feel like
I don't know.
her chemistry with Holland peaked in Far From Home.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't know. And then there was almost nothing in Dune. Like she didn't say anything. She was just like a presence in Dune.
She's being set up for the sequel in the first.
But
Dune,
we'll
to
see
be
if
fair.
she can bring a little energy.
Well, speaking of Denzel, what about her and was it the other Washington being paired
Carrie?
up? No, Denzel's son,
George.
What is his name? John? Is it John?
John David Washington.
John
Yes.
David Washington.
Yeah, they had like a steamy movie.
Did they?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see that one.
All right.
It was apparently pretty horrible.
Yeah, I've heard.
I haven't
I've heard
seen
the
it
same
either.
thing. All right, we're now to our number ones.
We're at my number one, my only 5-star movie of the entire last
Well,
year.
there's no way you think my number one is 5-star, so I'm disappointed that it didn't make your list at all.
Gosh, well, we'll wait and see.
And I have
We'll
no
wait and
idea
see.
what yours is.
Maybe your
Tim,
number one and my number one are the same, Rob.
Possibly.
Or Tim.
I don't think so, Tim.
Maybe yours and mine are the same. You
Maybe
never
we
know.
all have the same number one.
What would we do? We would just embrace. I think that's
I
what
would
we
shit
do.
myself because I'm pretty confident you guys don't know that my number one exists.
I'm pretty sure you don't know that mine does either, Tim. So I just want to also point out immediately following this, we will also talk about the best movie of the year once you begin scorning me. But neither here nor there. Best movie of the year. This movie for me was the best years of my life. It was the best years of my life. Was
That movie's from 1946, kiddo.
that? Which one is that?
The Best Years of
Best
Our
Years
Lives.
of-
That's an old movie.
Oh.
Super old.
I was like, which one was that? So this movie invoked every possible emotion. I was laughing through tears. I was crying. I was giving out hugs to people that were around me. I slept well that night knowing that the people that I care about most in the world felt just a little bit closer after spending a couple of hours with them. And I just couldn't have asked for a better moment that I will hold together forever. And those people that are most important to me are Rachel and Joey
Oh my gosh, you're
and Chandler Bing
going off the rails here.
and Phoebe Buffay.
I
Monica Geller.
apologize for saying that I didn't think the Bo Burnham one was a movie.
And Ross Geller. This movie was everything to me. I watched it over the summer. This is the Friends, the reunion. 5 stars. Best thing I did the entire last year.
I will say it was better than the Harry Potter reunion.
Oh, I like that too.
Oh, I don't think that was very good.
Oh, that was good too.
Oh my gosh, I just looked at your letterbox. You have this as 5 stars.
It
really
was
do.
5 stars. Everybody was so genuine. They were so authentic. They come together. Everybody, like the clips that they brought together from the old shows. They picked all the good ones. Remember when he goes commando in another man's fatigues? He's wearing all those layers of pants. They bring that back. They bring remember when Monica gets the frizzy hair because it's normally really curly, but she wears that hat. They bring that back. They bring the best clips together. It's real life interviews, the whole thing. This was, again, it was one of the best parts of 2021 for me. Is this on your list?
It is not.
It's not?
I regret to say my list of the top 5 films only includes films.
This was a film. I double checked. It was like 140 some minutes.
It's
a reunion special. It's 104 minutes. Tim, do you remember there was a professor, I think it was like marketing or something, like but it was in the communications arena. His son was a writer on Friends and he just wouldn't stop mentioning that?
Yes.
Okay, so that wasn't just me. Yeah.
Was he really
God,
cool?
what was his name? I like the class.
It was a good class because I remember you got to make a commercial or you got to shoot something.
You got to make like a thing, a production.
Yeah. So that was fun. But yes, he just wouldn't stop talking about his son being a writer on Friends.
On the best
show of all time.
Oh, I mean, we can all agree on that though, right? Best TV show of all time? At least that.
I do like Friends quite a bit.
Oh, I know you do. Tim?
I am not confident that there was a single season that Friends was on the air where I would have called it the best show that aired on NBC on Thursdays.
I'm going to just close the Zoom.
Now, I am, to be clear, comparing it in that specific sentence to Frasier and Seinfeld.
Oh, that is tough. I feel.
Man, NBC had must-see TV for sure.
It was must-see TV.
But did you sit with your parents on the couch and you'd pack together and you would watch all of these shows together and like have some snacks and like go to bed a little bit later?
The only one we all 3 liked was Frasier.
Okay, we did all like that too. But we also watched Friends. What was the third one again? Yeah, we watched Frasier, Friends.
Seinfeld.
And
Seinfeld.
Oh, I wasn't allowed to watch Seinfeld. That was too off color. Yeah.
Well.
Oh, I don't know what to do with you, Care. But I guess we'll just have to accept your.
I stand by this.
Your kookiness.
I do like the contrast that it sets up because Carrie's TV special has somehow made it onto our list of movies, whereas my number one is such a movie that the distributor and the director have promised, Up, Down, and Sideways, it will never be viewable on a television. Now, I viewed it on a television because they gave out screener DVDs because they still want to get Critics Awards. But they have claimed that this film will only ever be available on the big screen. You will only be able to see it at one theater at a time. It is slowly touring its way around the country, a very complicated and weird tour that began on December 26th, and no one seems to know where it's going next or where it even is. It's a whole clusterfuck. They're burying this movie in a stupid way, and I hate it because I loved this movie. This movie is Memoria, the newest film by everyone's favorite Thai art filmmaker, Apichatpong Weerasethakul, who is better known by Joe, so I will call him that because I don't know how many times I can actually navigate Apichatpong without getting tangled up. So he makes good movies. He makes my favorite movies. He makes such good movies.
Oh, you didn't say Tilda Swinton.
Well, Tilda Swinton is the star.
Wow.
But she's not the director. Joe is the director.
I know.
But yes, so it's about a Scottish woman living in Colombia. So it's a Thai filmmaker making a film half in English and half in Spanish in Colombia about a Scottish woman. It's the whole fucking country, whole fucking world's in here. She's in Colombia. Her sister is very sick and in the hospital. And while this woman, Jessica, played by Tilda Swinton, is in Bogota, she hears a sort of a thump or a bump or a bang. Very, very loud. Doesn't seem to come from anywhere in particular. And she doesn't know what's going on. So she's like, I heard this weird bang. And she just kind of wanders around trying to figure out, where did that noise come from? What does it mean? And it's not a very pressing question. It's not like a mystery for her to solve. It's just sort of a curiosity. And it's a very, very open, interested movie that's just kind of like sucking in all the sights it can of Bogota and the countryside around it. You would find this movie probably even more boring than the 2 hour and 5 minute film that doesn't have any dialogue. Because this movie has like several 10-minute long takes where people are just sitting down talking to each other. It's really good. I really liked it. And I'm really bummed out that I watched it on a shitty looking 480p DVD, and I really want to see it on the big screen. So hopefully it will at some point come relatively close to where I live so I can make that happen. But again, Neon and Joe have just come up with this repulsively stupid release pattern, but it is because they are so invested in the belief that this is a big screen movie. And they're right. Like, this is a movie just full of these massive mural-like shots of just landscapes with people standing in them. Gorgeous film. Loved it.
This is Memento.
Memoria.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking at Joe's filmography. I think the only thing that's like Mekong Hotel sounds familiar.
That shocks me because you must be thinking of something else.
I must be thinking of something else.
It is obscure even by his films. The big one in this country was Uncle Boonmee, who can recall his past lives because it won the Palme d'Or.
Okay. Well, it sounds like I won't ever have a chance to see this. So
you can borrow my screener DVD if you want to
Awesome.
have it look really crappy on your giant, beautiful new projector wall.
yes. You know what will look really nice on my giant projector wall?
Your number one.
Is my number one, which is No Time to Die.
Oh,
You wanted to
way
play a game?
Build Cheebers.
Yeah, it was on my most anticipated list. It came to fruition.
What happened in that movie, Rob?
What happened in that movie?
Yeah. Do
Everything.
you know? What? Like what?
There was a scene
There was no time to die, obviously.
where Leah Sado and James Bond drive in a car. There were car chases. There was
Sure.
motorcycles.
What was
on
the conflict, though?
The conflict was Rami Malek trying to
Oh, you do
designer.
Yeah, he was a James Bond
Diseases.
supervillain who was going to put
I'm
a
asking 'cause
horrible
I had
toxic
forgotten.
disease in the world.
I had forgotten, but I'm
yeah,
glad you
that was a
remembered.
fun, like, it's not a MacGuffin, but just like that, the way that he was planning to eradicate. Like, I love the designer, like, targeted. Like, that's a really interesting concept that I haven't seen in film before. As far as the villain goes, like, he was
I thought
he
it
was
was pretty
okay.
good.
He was okay.
Where does it go from there?
What do you mean?
That would constitute a spoiler.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say what happened. Do you see how carefully I crafted that question?
But I would say that a lot of the reason why I have it so high is because of the ending and just kind of.
But I mean, will there be more movies
Yes.
yes, there will be more Bond movies.
with Mike Bond?
Well, no.
Steve Bond will be
I think
joining
it was a
Hansen.
very good send off
Yeah.
for Daniel Craig, who's been in the drive. Is he now the longest running Bond? I think, right?
He's the longest running by years. He is not the longest running by number of films because they took like 5 years per movie there at
Right,
the end.
right.
But yeah,
I
he's
think-
been in the roles for 15 years now. 16.
I think they did the best they could writing wise. They kind of wrote themselves into a corner. Like, they could have obviously done a number of different things too to wrap it up, but just with Spectre and everything, it just like they needed to somehow still kind of conclude it, and I think they did the best they could with the material they had. I know that Tim, you had problems with Leah Sado's character. Like,
I just do not like. I don't think they have chemistry
Right.
at all.
yeah, I guess seeing Eva Green, is it Eva?
Eva.
Seeing Eva really brought me back, though. I
So
miss
you're
her.
just thinking of the dress.
I do love that.
I mean,
dress.
how could you
damn it.
not?
I mean, I think about it.
Yeah.
Almost every
You
day.
know what dress looks worse than that is the
Don't.
one that you tried on in that dressing room.
I will post this photo. I wish.
But I figure if I talk about it enough times, you'll have to.
But overall, like, great action, good set pieces, fun. Like, there were fun moments. Like, it
was fun.
It's a touching conclusion for me, and just the way they set up that ending, where like a choice needs to be made, and yeah, it felt right for the character.
Yeah.
It was a good send off.
No, I hadn't thought much about it, but I agree that I enjoyed it while I was watching it. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Wish it was shorter. That was the other complaint that I had. But again, I peaked here at 4.5 stars. So I had no 5-star. I mean, I didn't think about the Friends reunion.
Did
so
you
I
have
should-
that at
I
5
should-
stars,
I
though?
should reevaluate.
That's star ratings are insufficient to capture the power and the glory that is the Friends reunion.
And that is something that we can definitely all agree on, for sure.
Well, good picks all around, everyone.
Are we going to go with our...
I concur that one of you had good picks. Yes.
Are we going to go with our best movie of the year?
You want to
really
just quickly say what your best movie, regardless of year, was that you saw?
Yes, and I'm going to try and redeem myself.
What's going to be
through doing
better
that.
than Friends Reunion?
I'm not going to explain it at all, other than to say my favorite and most highly rated movie of the year that was not 2021 this year was Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh,
Sure.
I gave that 4.5 stars. I thought I had seen the whole thing, but apparently I fell asleep after like 25 minutes. So I was like not that into it. And then when we went to go see it,
May I challenge that for you?
no,
Okay.
no, you can.
1917 in our basement. First movie that we saw in the new room here. I feel like you were really moved by that.
Yeah, you're
movie
right.
again.
You're right.
Mad Max Fury Road's a better film than 1917, though.
So I like
Carrie and I were having a moment, Rob. Why did you have to poop
Yeah.
on that moment?
Sorry.
Moment. I was trying to get Tim to like me again. Great, thanks.
I almost did. Now I'm going to have to just bring up that ugly dress again.
Damn it. But I felt like it was a moment for me where I was like, oh wait, when I never am swayed by anyone's opinions on these movies other than my own, and then I look later. So when I was just like, oh man, I really am digging this thing. Really, really liked it. Like the empowerment and Furiosa in it is just like bonkers. And then I went out and I was like, ooh, Tim liked this one too.
Tim called this the 5th best movie of the decade.
Wow. Did you give this 5 stars?
I did.
It probably deserves it. I need to probably do another watch, but just kind of blew my mind once I watched it from beginning to end on all the pieces.
Interested in Furiosa, Tim?
I like Furiosa, yes.
No, the upcoming movie.
I don't have faith that it's actually going to get made.
Is it going to be with the gal?
It's I think the plan is Anya Taylor-Joy was going to take on. I was hoping it was Jodie Comer.
It's going to be like Furiosa's origin story.
Yeah, it's an origin story of how she came to be. I was more excited when it was Jodie Comer, who I think looks quite a lot like Charlize Theron, a younger version of her. So
okay, all right, Tim, best of the year.
I am torn. If I were to name a 10-minute long silent film, would you have any capacity to still respect me, Carrie?
I think you know the answer without even asking, right?
So my best film of the year was the 10-minute long silent film, Joan of Arc, directed by Georges Méliès in the year 1900, the very end of the 19th century, the very beginning of the 20th century, depending on how you count. But just this incredibly beautiful and shockingly comprehensive, given that it's only 10 minutes long, story of Joan of Arc, the great French national hero. Every French filmmaker has to have his or her Joan of Arc movie, and Méliès, I think, made the very first one potentially. And it's just this gobsmacking chain of these images that I don't even understand how in the year 1900 he could conceivably have put them together. And I had the good fortune to see it when Criterion Channel was streaming several Méliès films with restored hand-painted color, which made it just look like this gorgeous storybook in motion about the life of Joan of Arc. Completely knocked me on my ass. I consider myself a fan of early cinema, and I did not know that early cinema, at least by 1900, was capable of what this movie did.
This 10-minute movie.
So this 10-minute movie.
Think about that, Kara, though. Like, so I don't know. Is it 30? How many frames per second is the older films?
Good question. It wasn't standardized at this point. I would suspect between 16 and 20.
So imagine having to paint for every second. There's like 16 to 20.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
Before you get all shirty.
That's crazy.
I wasn't going to get shirty.
Hand painted. I can't believe they do that. That's crazy. It'll come as no surprise to anyone that one of my two favorite movies that I watched, they're tied here. I'm looking at my Letterboxd, is The Avengers, but also 1917. Upon rewatching, I gave both 5 stars. The Avengers because
if we're counting rewatches,
I thought that's what we were doing.
No, I was talking about the movie I saw for the first time that wasn't a 2021 film.
Oh, first time watch? That's not 21?
Mine happened to be that, but I didn't have that criteria baked into my brain. So it's okay.
I don't think we watched.
Oh, well then mine is Pinocchio.
Oh. Just the best thing you saw this year?
It's like one of my favorite movies of all time, and I saw it this year, so yes.
Okay.
But I also really like Joan of Arc. So
and the 10-minute film. Okay.
Yes.
The trailer, and then the 1917, and then the movie that I said. I think those are all good picks.
Yes, those were good picks, Carrie. This is Rob coming to you all from the beautiful Maldives at Club Robinson. Obviously, we recorded a little bit earlier before our big trip, so coming back to you with all of the audience's top 5. So every week we ask you to submit your picks for our top 5 based on those submissions. Here were your top 5. At number 5, we had Dune. At number 4, we had a two-way tie with Memoria and The French Dispatch. At number 3, we had Malignant. At number 2, The Tragedy of Macbeth. And number 1 by far, The Power of the Dog. Our winner this week is Alex Frith, who's our first winner of 2022. Alex said, of the 16 new release films I managed to see in 21, my top 5 are massive anti-Tim troll fests. Maybe Rob will still be friends with me. I will indeed, Alex, because I see a couple on here that I was pretty big fan of. At number 5, we had Spider-Man No Way Home for Alex. Number 4, Halloween Kills. Number 3, Moxie. Number 2, Censor. And number 1 for Alex, Judas and the Black Messiah. Alex, feel free to reach us at contact@alternateending.com for details on how to win your free Amazon movie rental. If you want to win a free Amazon movie rental like Alex, be on the lookout for all of our top 5 posts on Facebook and Twitter. In closing, I want to thank everybody for listening. Head up to our Facebook page and like it Twitter, where we're tweeting all the time now, thanks to Brennan. Alternateending.com, we'll find all our movie reviews, podcasts, and more. YouTube and Facebook. YouTube, actually, where you'll find our podcast now as well. But also our videos. We're going to be starting up doing some video interviews coming up soon. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and Google. And don't forget about our Patreon. We will talk to you next time.